What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on Jayson Tatum and like how much the Celtics are really going to need Jayson Tatum this year if they are going to repeat. So I saw the Celtics play their first playoff game against the Orlando Magic, right? And the same theme is going on. It's like the Celtics are more so carrying Jason Tatum than that he's not playing up to the superstar status that they trying to place on him. And his team is more so carrying him than he is like carrying them. But I think that if Jason Tatum don't step up his game this year, then I don't think that the Celtics will be able to repeat. And I say that because they're gonna need him because number one, uh Jalen, what's Jalen? Jalen Brown, his knee. If I would notice during the game that, and they said something before the game that he was having knee problems. And then so I noticed during the game that's at certain points of the game, um, he was favoring his knee. So he may not be able to, like, as this series go on, he may be he may not be able to help out the team as much as he did last year or in seasons past, as far as like carrying them and stepping up. He still looked like he was he still was pretty effective against the Orlando Magic. And I'm not sure if the Orlando Magic will be able to push the Celtics to like 6 or 7 games. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But and that will be good for the Celtics because, like I said, the more rest that Jalen gets, then I think it'll be better for the Celtics. Then you got Porzingis. Like Porzingis, he one play away from missing some time. Like he recently came back just before the playoffs started. Porzingis did. So you're not going to be able to really, you may not be able to count on him, or you may not have him at certain points during the playoffs because he's injury prone. And so when you have a Tatum, who's supposed to be, and in my opinion, Jason Tatum's supposed to be like he's supposed to be the man on that team. And the thing about it, I think Jason Tatum, he has benefited from having a deep team around him, having so much help. You got Drew Holiday, then you have the guy named you have Derek White, and then you got Brown, Jalen Brown, um, Porzingis, Horford. It's a lot of talent around him, but it's not enough talent to where as though if one of those other guys are limited because of injury, and health reasons, if one of those other guys are limited, you still are going to need Jason Tatum to step up. And so that's why I think, like, if Jason Tatum is not able to step up during this season, during this playoff runs, then the Celtics are going to have a hard time. Well, it'll be harder for them to repeat. They already, they already gonna get everybody best shot. And I think Cleveland is their biggest threat because Cleveland is young, Cleveland athletic, and Cleveland have some they got some horses over there. And Cleveland play good defense. So Cleveland can really be they can push the Celtics. And if the Celtics, like I said, in a 7-game series, if Porzingis or Brown have to miss a game, then that's going to be then everything's going to fall more so onto Jason Tatum. And what will he be able to do? Will he be able to carry the team when everybody know that he has to carry the team? A lot of a lot of what I see of Jason Tatum, like when he getting his baskets and stuff like that, is mostly like when the game has already been decided most of the time, or he's contributing, as a to a run that the team is making. But he's not the one in most cases who start the run and everybody's feeding off of him. That's in my opinion, that's usually Brown or maybe one of the guards like I say, like Dirk White may have gotten hot and he hit a couple shots in a row, and then Drew Holiday contributes to that, and then here you go with Jason Tatum, right? But people they're not. It's I don't think that is going to work this year. I think they're going to have to rely heavily on Tatum more so than they have in the past, and Tatum is going to he's going to have to step up, you know. And so now, if Tatum is not able to step up, then people are going to say, well, this is why you know Tatum have been taking criticism from the public because he do the same thing. Like in times when his teams really need him, he's not able to step up. And then, you see a situation where what happened to Tatum last year uh and during the Olympics, like when he wasn't able to get on the floor in the Olympics. Like and I still don't know what that was all about. Why wasn't Tatum in those Olympics able to log more minutes? He's coming off of a championship. I just didn't get it. He was a guy, I don't know. And then you had some older guys on the Olympic team who they really should have, like LeBron and Steph Curry, they should have really cut their minutes. Even Kevin Durant. You got guys who are up in age. LeBron, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant really should have been more so like ambassadors to the game. You know, I think that Team USA still could have won. If you had to use like LeBron in certain situations, or you cut his minutes back. What's the other? Steph Curry. They still could have won. With somebody like Jason Tatum, but maybe Steve Kerr and the coaches on that Olympic team seen some things from Jason Tatum that just said that that they didn't think that he would be effective. I don't know. I doubt that. Like I said, you got a guy who has played in the NBA for years before he made it to the Olympic team, and then on top of that, they had just won the championship, so they just come off a playoff run and they just won the championship, and then you don't give him no time in the Olympics. But so maybe some of that blame should be on Jason Tatum, and not the people from the Olympic team, or not the coaches from the Olympic team. Maybe some of that blame. But I know that coming back into the season, Jason Tatum and the Celtics was like they was on a mission. And you could tell, like they were really focused coming into the season, like they was on a mission. They had something to prove. And so now is Jason Tatum. This is that time for him to show, of all the disrespect for over the years, like for people saying that, he don't show up in big times, to help his team out to get them over the hump. For what happened to him in the Olympics, with them not putting him on the court and giving him any time like that. Uh, you know, so this right here, this playoff run to the championship for the Celtics, this will be Jason Tatum. This will be the perfect opportunity for Jason Tatum to step up and put the team on his back, because he has some teammates, like I said, Brown don't look like, Brown look like later on in the playoffs, you know, he may be limited. And so if Brown has to miss some time because of his knee, then this is where Jason Tatum is going to be, he's going to be needed. And don't let Porzingis go out or have to miss a game or two because of his knees or his back or something like that. You talking about, things really gonna fall apart. And I think Porzingis really is the key because he's so big and so long that he makes it really difficult, you know. Um, he he's the reason why Dirk White and Drew Holiday are able to take chances on defense because you know you got somebody like Porzingis and Horford back there, you know, to if they make a mistake to counter that. And so yeah, that would be a big loss. If Porzingis couldn't go, that would really be a big loss for the Celtics. But this is Tatum's time though. It's definitely Tatum time for him to to show the team and show everybody around the league what he can do, that he can lead this team and he's gonna have to do that in order for them to be successful. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next episode. Peace.